Welcome back to Lasco Ford. Man, we have been waiting for this. This is the 2020 Ford Super Duty. Not only a Super Duty, not a 250, but the 350. This happens to be in an STX package, but we're going to talk to you about details of what they are offering, not only in the new 7.3 liter engine that we have in this truck that we're going to show you today underneath the hood, but also in the 6.7 liter and what they've done to improve it, okay? Sorry if I'm a little loud, I'm getting very excited and I've really had to tame it down, but let's just take a look at what we are going to do. I have all of this to make sure you're getting proper specs on what is going on with what Ford's power plants are all about. Well, not about the number chasing of torque and horsepower, but it's payload, it's towing, right? That's what we really want to talk about. With the new Ford 2020 model Super Duty, what are you able to do? How about this? You got to hear this number, 37,000 pounds towing capability at over 1,000 pound-foot of torque available in the 6.7 liter diesel. Not just 1,000, but 1,050. Like, just to make sure it's not 1,000, it's 1,050, right? Then you've got the 6.7 liter, which is the staple of diesel motors, right? That Ford has been putting together. It is 470 horsepower, 475, I'll correct that. Like, that's the horsepower. Does that even matter? No, take that off the table. It doesn't even matter when it comes to diesel. It comes to torque. Torque is what pulls your load and makes sure that you absolutely get everything moving and going to the direction that you're gonna either haul, pull, whether it's a camper, whether it's a dump bucket, whether it's, you know, like all these different things. And then you have different ratings. There's 7 different ratings when it comes to Ford. When it comes to the light duty, which they call this a light duty. A light duty at 37,000 pounds. How is that anything light duty related? But then you have medium duty. Medium duty is going to go from the 550, 650, 750, and then it goes into the heavier duty, which is basically a semi at that point, right? But semis, back in the day, think about this, you weren't even pulling 37,000 pounds. It wouldn't have done it. But now you can do it in a medium duty or a light duty Super Duty. Well, let's tear into this thing. This is the 2020 model Ford F350 Super Duty, right? Now this happens to be a STX package. So what does the STX package give you? Well, you've got the chrome grille up front because we have a chrome decor package on this. So it's gonna be a chrome grille. It's gonna be the chrome bezeled headlights. It's gonna be chrome on the bumper. We're in Michigan. If you see these tow hooks, you're gonna know it's 4-wheel drive, right? Ford has always done that type of thing where you go, hey, if it doesn't have tow hooks in the front, well, it's 2-wheel drive. Well, if it has tow hooks in the front, it's 4-wheel drive. So we're going to walk around this thing. They've redesigned the mirrors slightly, just a little bit, when it comes around the curve of the mirror, and it comes to the 2 pedestals that Ford is offering with an LED turn signal built into it. You're going to see the badging of STX when it comes to the side fender badging with an F350 right into the side embedded into it. Now this one happens to have an upgraded tire package, which is available, which is definitely a must-do, right? Why would you go with a radial when you could grab these Goodyear Wranglers and have the all-terrain version of it with an aluminum wheel? Ford has not stopped with the solid front axle. When you see the solid front axle, you're gonna have the locking ability to put it in an auto or full lock setting when it comes to the solid front axle hubs, okay? Take a look underneath here. They have not stopped with the massive frame that they have available, which is like, it's not available. It's the only way you can go. We have massive frames. They're fully boxed. You're going to have an independent suspension on both sides with coil springs, with shocks, with a radius arm that is given to you from the manufacturer. Yes, you can update that. You've seen that in other videos that we've done with lift kits and everything else. But as we keep going, this happens to be a super cab version, which gives you a door and a half. A door and a half. Why can we do that? Well, we can do that. There's other manufacturers that can't do that because they're not going to pass the safety ratings. Why? Because they have to have a B pillar, right? So there's an A pillar. Right here's where the B pillar would be. But when we take a look at this, when Ford does what they do, and by the way, you got to see this hinge. See that? That's where everybody else stops. Boom, all the way back to the bed of the truck, right? So when we do what we do with Ford and we fully box the Chisel, we fully box this member here, which typically would be your C pillar. This is actually a B pillar in the Ford because there is no B pillar here.
Stuff is in a super cab right now.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it? There's a lot of things in the back of this Super Duty right now. there's luggage, there's a briefcase, or a satchel, and then you've got a full breakdown table right here, right? And this seat isn't like it's all the way forward. That's crunched, right? Yeah, so you've got that. Here's the cool thing. You can fold the seat up and down with this lever here. Then you have another one right behind this seat belt. If you take a look, here's a little tether right here. When you pull that, that seat will pull down as well. And that's going to give you your hydraulic bottle jack. That's going to be behind that seat. Now, here's the cool thing, and I'm glad you mentioned that too. Because can you get a carpeted flooring in this truck? Yes, you can. Can you get a carpeted flooring in all of the trucks that Ford makes? Yes, you can. But how about this? Can you get a vinyl flooring in all of the trim levels? Yes, you can. All right. So this vinyl flooring that you could literally spray out with a pressure washer, right, can come in a platinum if you decide to order it that way. So when you order your truck that way, make sure you're getting the flooring that you're expecting to get, and you can do that here at Lasco Ford in Fenton, Michigan, right? So cool things about that, it shuts and it shuts smooth. And there's people that want to brag about their hinges. Cool. Brag about your hinges. If that's what you've got to bring to the table, let me show you what Ford has to bring to the table. Here's the bed length. The bed length is 6.75. That's going to be a 6 3/4 bed length. It's actually 6.8. But if you take a look, again, big tires. This one doesn't even have the hub cap covers on it that cover that center lug, right? This is military grade, and it's huge. How many bolts go around this thing just to put it together? It's almost hilarious, right? But I do want you to pay attention to this. This is called a saddle. So the saddle that they have here around this fully boxed frame on the 2020 Super Duty that Ford's putting out has this bolt and this bolt with this saddle going around the frame, okay? So when you have this, we haven't even looked at the bed yet, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna have a 5th wheel prep package and gooseneck prep package. So when you look in the back, you've got the plugs that are ready to go. So 4 plugs for that gooseneck prep package and 5th wheel prep package. What does that mean? Well, I'm just gonna do this to do this. I was about to hop in there like Lorenzo Lamas off of Renegade from the 90s, if you remember that. Vince Black. Here we go. All right, so when you take a look in the back of this thing, you take these plugs out, right? So this plug will be removed, and then in here, you're gonna cleat down an existing race package or an existing 5th wheel. But what if you don't have that, right? What if you don't have the equipment that Ford can provide you with the order of your truck, right? So that's called a 5th wheel assembly package. So this is a 5th wheel prep package, but you can get an assembly package, which means you can have a 5th wheel in the truck when you pick it up on delivery. So when your salesperson goes, here's the keys, it already has it in there, right? So that's a 5th wheel assembly package. This is a prep package. So if you don't have one, what if you want to use your old one and you don't want to spend the extra $1,200, $1,500 roughly? Then you get a picture frame. You can find them at Walmart for $277. Not even kidding, right? So that picture frame literally cleats in right here all the way around, and it literally will accept your 5th wheel that you have now, your existing package, and it allows you to fit in that picture frame, set it right into the back of your new Ford F2 or 350 or 450 or on and on and on. But let's take a look. When you get this, right, that's the fifth wheel prep package. What about the gooseneck, right? So right here, hold on a second. I don't have fingernails really. I don't know if I can get this out. But in here is where your ball will go. Snap on a fingernail. I know, right? There we go. All right. So in here is where your gooseneck ball will go. Now you can get a gooseneck assembly package. What does that mean? Well, you're going to get 2 different sizes of your gooseneck ball. So you're going to have, don't quote me on this, but I think it's 2 3/4 and 3 inch, okay? But just don't quote me on that, all right? But it goes right in here. You turn it, and it literally has 2 little buttons that you can fold out to pull it out, fold out to put it in, and then as soon as it goes back into that ball, it locks it into that cleat. So you can use 2 different ones, and Ford gives you 2 different ones. It comes in a case about that big, which is a technical dimension about that big, right? Here's the other thing. When you get that, come around to this side, behind your driver's side tail light, when you get that gooseneck and 5th wheel prep package like this, you're gonna have a 7-pin wiring harness right there, okay? So now your fifth wheel that you hook up already has a cord right here, so you're not draping it over the back of your tailgate, right? What is this? Oh, that's another plug here too, just in case, because Ford wants to cover every single angle. Did we mention that there's a new motor? Did I mention that yet? I did. This is a 7.3 liter gasoline engine, which, oh my goodness, does that really get my blood boiling. What are the specs of it? The spec is 475 pound-foot of torque with 430 horsepower. Okay, so you got 475 torque, you got 430 horsepower. So if we do that and we go, let me upgrade to the 6.7 liter, the 6.7 liter is going to bring you 1,050 pound-foot of torque with 475 horsepower. I've done my research, believe this, before we shot this video, I wanted to know so you can know too. Here's a cool thing. That's more liters than a Coca-Cola plant or a Marathon gas station. So this I wanted to show. You're going to have yellow indicators when you're going to fold this down too. So let's just talk about it, right? This is the newer design of what this step is. Anytime you see a yellow thing, push it. Don't pull it. Don't try and yank it, whatever. Number one, and it has number one on there. Boom, that's down, push. Push here. Number two, push. Hold it down. And then yellow, push it back into your tailgate, right? Here's the cool thing. On this design, you don't have a step that you need to fold back out and then fold back in when you go to put it back into the tailgate. The problem was with the first one, if you folded it out, you could literally damage the paint or the trim on your tailgate. So we've eliminated that.
It doesn't unfold halfway in and knock into your trailer hitch like a GMC or Chevy.
I didn't say that, but guess what? It doesn't hit your trailer hitch like a Chevy, because then you have to unfold half of your tailgate to find an apparatus that you have to be certified like a surgeon to be able to operate, with instructional videos that come along with that. Here's the cool thing in Super Duty, they came up with Pro Trailer Backup Assist. That's a big deal, because when we're talking about our truck, guess what? It's not made of steel, it's made of aluminum. Mine, I now have 77,000 miles on my truck, and there is no rust. There's no bubbling, there's no, oh, the paint will separate from the aluminum, and you're gonna have an issue down the road. I hear all the hogwash that everybody else wants to talk about, but at the end of the day, my paint is perfect, and if you don't believe me, I'll pull my truck up at the end of this video, and you can take a look yourself. At the bottom of this truck, let's talk about their hitch system. This hitch system is out of control. There's 24 plus bolts depending on which hitch system you pick up, but it's not just hooked to one and then, oh, well, there's another one. Well, these are welded on both sides and they go up underneath, and they're not only attached to your bumper, they're attached to your frame as well. So yes, both your bumper and your frame. So now look at the size of this diameter here. I mean, that's huge. And then you take a look here and you go, what class of hitch do you have? Multiple. So you don't even have to say I have a class 3, class 4, class whatever. It doesn't matter, because they make different inserts that are going to come into this hitch that you're going to have a reducer that you can actually use your existing hitch for. Okay, so this is a hitch, then you have a reducer, then you have what your little your ball and your you know, to whatever trailer that you have, whether it's a pintle hitch, whether it's going to be a regular trailer tow behind hitch, or obviously we're prepared for a fifth wheel, a gooseneck. Ford has thought of all of the different ways that you can pull or yank anything, okay? Let's keep walking around. With a chrome bumper on this truck, this is a STX package or an XL package. This is the base model, right? But the base model now offers something like this. Zoom in on that. Blind spot radar. What does that mean? Blind spot awareness system that's offered by Ford. And here's the cool thing. Do you have to get a Lariat or a Platinum to be able to get into a package that protects you like this? No, absolutely not is your answer. You can be able to get into an XL with a blind spot awareness system that's available, and not only for the truck, like I've got a blind spot right here. If you're the driver, picture yourself there and having a vehicle just behind you. Well, it's not just behind you, it's behind the trailer tow vehicle behind this truck. So now, not only are you protected to be able to merge lanes and be able to shift lanes, but you know that your trailer behind you is also protected, and that is 40 plus feet behind the bumper of the truck. Well done, Ford. You've done it again. This is the other thing that I want to take a look at. You got a stack of leaves. This is fall in Michigan. You want to talk about a stack of leaves? This is a stack of leaf springs, not a stack of leaves that you're gonna jump in and play in like a leaf pile, like a child, right? This is made for business. When we talk about business, what is the payload capacity of a Ford in their new 2020 Super Duty version? Well, I'm gonna tell you because I've taken notes. 7,850 pounds. That's metaphorically me dropping the mic, okay? By the way. So take a look at this. And in a gasoline engine, you're gonna have just this one tab here, all right? That's gonna be your gasoline. Let me put some gas in it, right? Over here, when you have a diesel version, this is where your DEF or diesel exhaust fluid is gonna be able to go. The diesel exhaust fluid is brilliant. When I say brilliant, take a look at a Chevy. Sorry about your luck. Look underneath the passenger side where you have a coffin of diesel exhaust fluid that goes underneath the passenger side that's hanging down like a belly pan, and if you don't have running boards, it looks absolutely ridiculous. I was going to use other words, but I'm going to get comments if I use those other words. So they do a smart job of doing this. They heat the tank, you have a heated line, and it goes inside and gets consumed by your fuel tank. So it's a 5-gallon tank that sits inside of your fuel tank. So it's surrounded by fuel to keep you as moisture-free and as freeze-free as possible, because guess what? Gasoline doesn't freeze. Diesel fuel, yes, they have winter fuel and all that other stuff to be able to stop coagulating that diesel fuel because it's less refined than gasoline. Well, Ford's already thought about that, so that's why they recess that tank inside of your fuel tank. So that's why we do what we do instead of having an auxiliary tank that's sitting underneath your passenger's feet. That looks absolutely ridiculous when you're going down the road.
Before we forget, can we go over all the cameras on the back window?
Oh man, cameras. There's so many cameras. All right, there's so many cameras. Camera here, number one camera. But not just that camera, on your reverse backup camera, you have this. This is an LED light that illuminates your trailer guidance assist or your reverse guidance assist. So when you back up, this camera will be activated. When you put it in reverse, that's activated. This will illuminate. It goes down to your hitch and has reverse trailer assist, right? So it will literally give you a dashed line that goes boop, 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 whatever way you're going as you back up to your receiver that's going to the tongue of your trailer. It is so easy, it's ridiculous. All right, here we go. Cool. You're absolutely right. So this is called a rear Chisel camera. Chisel means center high mount stop lamp. Center of the truck. High mount, it's the highest mounted stop lamp. Well, it illuminates when you hit your brakes. So this will be red, and these will be white when you put the vehicle in reverse. But this is a camera that points right down and avoids this giant toolbox right down to your hitch. So when you go to hook your hitch up on your fifth wheel, now you can see and watch it guide right to the hitch. What does that mean? It's not a two-man job now. You can literally go to back up to your fifth wheel and be able to hook up to your horse collar apparatus in here without having any guidance going, you remember this? And a little that way, and a little this way. Guess what? You've avoided all of that, okay? With a center high mount stop lamp rear Chisel camera, okay? That's what we're talking about. Ugh, that was really a little slick. I almost wiped it on that one. So let's keep going. This one is the STX package. The other thing that I want to talk about is cameras, more cameras. Are you ready? Boom, there's another camera, all right? The smart thing that Ford did with this camera is, guess what? Our mirrors are able to collapse. Does that camera move? Question mark. No, it doesn't, because it's not on the pedestal of the mirror folding. Ace Ventura right there. So Jay will put in, I promise you he's going to put in one of those. But you've got a camera here. So number one camera, number two camera, or wait, one, then two, three. Then you got four over on the other side. Does that mean we can only offer 4 cameras? No, it doesn't mean we can only offer 4 cameras. That means we've got more to go. Why? Because we can do a camera right there. I'm going to hit the whammy bar on this thing because I'm so excited, right? So you got a little trap door here. What does that mean? Anytime you hit your windshield washer fluid, it spots out and goes and it cleans off your camera. That is awesome. But even better than that, you can get another camera with a 40-foot cord that's able to hook up to the back of your truck and go all the way to the back of your fifth wheel and put another reverse camera on the back of your fifth wheel. That's 7, okay? Not to mention, if you go into different trim levels too, you can go up to where your rear view mirror is, and you can have a lane keeping system. You can have a forward mitigation collision warning with pedestrian alert system for 2020 on the Ford Super Duty. So that means there's another camera up there. So they're not even counting all the cameras. You missed one, right? But that is a camera, okay? So now what we're talking about is how do you drive a vehicle, long trip, and you go, hey, I'm gonna haul cars, or I'm gonna haul a fifth wheel, and I'm gonna go out west, or I'm gonna come out east, or whatever the case might be, through the Appalachians, or through whatever mountain range you're gonna drive through. You have every way to protect yourself, park the vehicle, and be safe. This is what you've been waiting for. Are you ready to see the 7.3? Time to pop the hood. 7.3 liter gasoline engine. We've already talked about what the horsepower and torque is. Are you ready? I'm just totally kidding. There you go. All right, so take a look underneath the hood. That's a 7.3 liter. Welcome back, right? So we've been waiting for the 7.3 liter that they put out since the mid 90s all the way through to 2000, or I'm sorry, yes, I'm right, 2003 and a half. Before they switched over to the 6.0 liter. But this isn't a diesel. This isn't the boat anchor that everybody's been talking about with a weight that goes on the front side that you blow up ball joints, that you have to have a front leaf spring on. This is the 7.3 liter gasoline engine. What?
Can you imagine plowing with this thing? Because you usually don't want to. I mean,
if you don't want a diesel to plow with, which I totally understand, right? A diesel is expensive. This is a minimal upgrade from the 6.2 liter that's still offered with Ford, to go to the 7.3 liter, which increases your towing, your payload, also increases your horsepower and your torque. Now when you throw a plow on the front, it's not like the old 7.3s. When you throw a plow on the front, you have to reinforce everything. Why? Because the thing is so stinking heavy, right? So the 7.3 liter is what we're gonna do to go, hey, the guy that's like going, the 5.3 wasn't enough. The 6.2 is better, no doubt about it. It's a great engine and I love it. And they're using it in a lot of cabin chassis, a lot of motorhomes. That's a V8 engine as well, the 6.2. But then you go to the 7.3, also a V8 engine, not a V10 like you see in the 6.8, okay? So you see a 6.8 Triton, that's typically gonna be your V10. This is a V8. This is the way to go. So if you are going to be doing the landscaping, the hauling, the plowing, the snow removal, that type of thing, or just if it's going to be your farm truck, that you're doing the hay wagons, you're doing, you know, the manure spreaders, the whatever you're going to grab to yank, that's the motor you're going to upgrade to if you don't need a diesel to do the 37,000 pounds towing capability that's available. This is where you go. This is why we're talking about the new 2020 Ford Super Duty truck. And it's not just the 250, it's the 350, the 450, and so on and so forth through the medium duties as well. This is why we're shooting this video, so you can know about it too. Thank you for watching. This is Paul Zaagman here at Lasco Ford, Fenton, Michigan, and it's so easy to find us. It's lascoford.com, LASCOFORD.com, or pick up the phone and give us a call. It's 810-629-2255. We're right off of Owen Road, right off of Highway 23. Love to see you here. Take a look at the truck. We appreciate you.